Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Doctor, can I meet you?
All right. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. I'm Dr. Eseigbe Efeomon. I'm Deputy Director of Disease Control and Immunization, Edo State Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Thank you, sir. Talking about disease control, presently you're having vaccine campaign on measles in Edo State. So why the campaign, sir?
Okay, thank you. Currently, we're having the measles vaccination campaign for children between the ages of 9 months and 5 years. And the reason we are doing this is to prevent outbreaks of measles in Edo State. We want to protect our children in Edo State from contracting the disease. You know that measles is a viral illness caused by the measles virus, and it can be very fatal or can even cause lifelong complications for children who have that disease. So we encourage our people to we encourage our people to bring their children within this age group to receive the vaccine during this campaign and after this campaign. Measles vaccine is part of the routine immunization, which is usually taken at 9 months, and then for the first dose, and then the second dose taken at 15 months. So, but where this campaign is to ensure that all our children receive those vaccines and their immunity is raised to protect them from contracting this disease. So, and it has gone on in all the 18 LG local government areas of the state. The first phase was in the south, as Edo South, and then the second phase for Edo Central and Edo North. So we've tried to ensure that we sweep across these LGAs to ensure that no child is missed and our children are protected. And if outbreaks occur within around the states, that it will not come into Edo State.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talking about going through the LGAs to sensitize people on the need to take this vaccine,
Yeah.
how would you describe the level of success the campaign have recorded so far?
Okay, well, before this campaign started, we had some what we call pre-implementation activities to sensitize the caregivers. We reached out through various media platforms to various communities to sensitize the gatekeepers to help us reach out to the community members. Went to several churches, organizations, mosques, and schools to sensitize them on the need why their children they should bring their children forward to get this vaccine. Talking about the level of success, I think we received um, target population of this age group for each of the LGA, and many of the local government areas have been able to at least reach or cross 100% of their target population in this LGA. But that notwithstanding, we've tried to encourage them to continue searching for children who they got vaccinated, because we know that people travel in and out of local government, so that no child is missed in any of these local government.
Thank you so much. There is this misconception that parents do have about vaccines.
Okay.
Some mothers somehow run away from getting their kids vaccinated. So how are officers able to cope with those level of mentality or those greedy people?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. We have a few parents who have misconceptions about this. So, but we try to educate them and let them know that these vaccines are safe, very safe. You can imagine us vaccinating thousands of children across the state, and no one has come to say, oh, this is what happened to the child because of the vaccine they received. The vaccines are safe, and they are for the protection of our children and to enhance the quality of life and their health growing up. So while we were young, we all took these vaccines. Like I said before, that measles vaccine is part of the routine immunization that children take in our primary health facilities and other health facilities that render immunization services. So we try to encourage them that these vaccines are safe and that it will be for the benefit of the children. And sometimes you see children who fall ill to these vaccine preventable diseases, and they recognize that, oh, if they had vaccinated these children, they wouldn't have contracted this disease, or the severity of the disease wouldn't have been as bad as it was, because these vaccines are free, provided by the federal government, and we want a situation where, by if the state is implementing this, that all families should ensure that the eligible children benefit from this, so that they don't get this disease and there won't be outbreaks in our communities.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Outside this measles vaccine, are there other vaccines that are valuable for access of mothers
Oh
and
yes,
kids?
oh yes, oh yes. So measles vaccine is not certainly not the only vaccine. Just talking about the maybe not acceptance of some people. So you hear me, talks like, oh, probably it's COVID-19 vaccines that they are giving our children. No, it's not COVID-19. Children are not giving COVID-19 vaccines in this country at all, at all. And there's absolutely no way that trained medical professionals will tell parents they are giving something they are not giving, or will tell parents that they are not giving something that they are giving. No. So this is measles vaccine that mothers are used to, that they take in the health facility. We're just ramping up the vaccination in the communities to prevent outbreaks of measles. So that's why we're doing this, and it's a very serious campaign. It's taking almost 22 days. Started since on the 19th of November, so it's ending today, but the routine vaccination continues. And this was just a campaign to ramp up the number of children that we are able to reach. So, concerning the last question you asked, certainly there are several other vaccines that children take for the routine immunization, from BCG to protect them from tuberculosis, and um, pentavalent vaccine, polio vaccines. These are vaccines that are in the routine immunization schedule, and just recently introduced now into the routine immunization schedule just this November in Edo State is the Rota vaccine to protect children from the rotavirus disease, which causes a lot of diarrhea in children and dehydration and death. So that Rota vaccine has just been introduced. Previously, you could find it, but you had to pay very highly for it. But now the government of the day has brought that into the routine immunization schedule, so it's absolutely free. So they can have it in the primary health centers for free at the specified age range that they're supposed to get it. For that rota, it's for 6 weeks, for 10 weeks, and for 14 weeks, and then the child is protected all through that period.
Thank you. So, what are the risks involved in not getting vaccinated?
Oh, it's enormous. It's enormous. We wouldn't even want to know, because uh, like I tell people, um, the stage at which a child takes a particular vaccine means that child needs protection from outside. Usually, you say, okay, why don't they just give all the vaccines, all of them at once, to the baby to protect? No, we encourage mothers to start breastfeeding within 1 hour of childbirth, because that initial breast milk is loaded with a lot of what we call immunoglobulins that offer the child protection. And going forward, breast milk contains a lot of immunoglobulin that offer the child protection. But at some point, the child will need some external protection. So that's why you see, okay, this one is given at 6 months, this one is given at 9 months, because the protection that is being offered from the breast milk is no longer sufficient to sustain the child from being protected from that disease. So, any child that is not immunized will easily contract any of these vaccine preventable diseases, and many of them can lead to death before the child reaches the age of 5. So we don't want that. We don't want any death. We don't want any deformity. We don't want any complications from these vaccine preventable diseases that children can get. Children can be stay in places where there are several other children, where they touch children and they don't have some of those hygienic practices, so they can easily pick up infectious diseases. And so to protect them, they we give them this vaccination at the right time according to the schedule, routine immunization schedule, and then they are protected and they live beyond 5 years, and they live productive and healthy lives.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Wrapping up your sensitization campaign today, what message do you have for other women or other mothers who have their children up till now yet not vaccinated?
Oh, okay. The what my message to them is, they should bring their children to the health facilities. If they don't have immunization cards yet, they will be issued an immunization card at the health facility. If they've not received any vaccine